everyone. Welcome to Manifest. I felt a very, very strong desire after the beautiful holidays I really had as I got engaged. Yes, the ring is still a little bit too big, so I'm wearing it here, not to lose it. Making sure, right? So that was really beautiful. We went skiing. And so it was an amazing moment of detachment and activation, truly, because for me, what starts to happen when I'm detaching is that I get really activated, a lot of downloads. So that is what starts to happen. And so after that, I just felt a very strong desire to start the year strong with all of you and to give you this opportunity to come together, to gather in the energy. And I realized, so I'm going to start with those of you who do not know me yet, little short intro before I dive in. So I'm, first of all, a mother of 4. Then I am now a fiance. How good is that, right? So that's new in the introduction. And then what I love to do is basically to work with the 1% of people who have really prioritized their mission and who want to take that into physical embodiment, physical alignment, creating the results in their lives, but simultaneously activating that powerful source, that channel which they are in the most exquisite ways. So it's for the human and it's for the soul. It's literally unity between both. And then I have this beautiful community. We do programs. I do VIP days, retreats, all of the things, a mastermind, just a lot. And so what I realized is 5 years ago, I was a social worker and I was sitting on my desk, and I want you to kind of get the importance of this story because it's worth copy pasting, really. I was sitting on my desk and I was writing the things I wanted. I wanted to have clients. I didn't have clients. I wanted to have an audience. I wanted to have like a beautiful lover. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have this dream home because I was just divorced. So it was basically not having all of the things. I didn't have the money. I didn't have the love. I didn't have all of those things. So I was very open to doing that. And so I realized that this 5-year cycle just closed, and that by closing that, I realized literally everything and more got manifested in my life, like almost like you would call it magic. And I think it is magic, but it's accessible for you, this level of magic. So it's not magical, what is not available for our humans, but the key is, are we willing to operate on our soul's potential, or are we choosing the human potential? And so that is a choice that comes first. And it sounds really logical. Most of you would say, okay, so of course, but are you willing to hold that potential in your life when you're feeling the upgrades, when you're feeling things are not going that well, when you're feeling emotional, when life events are happening? Are you allowing yourself to stay anchored in to your soul's potential and breathe and engage and live from there? Or do you sometimes do that part when you maybe are in places like this, the classes, the moments of inspiration, and then back in your life, you go back to the old, and then wondering what it is, why you're not creating the life you really want? It's because you are repeating the same cycle. I did that for years, so I know what it's like. I also know how to literally get out of that. So I want to take you on this journey today where I share more about how I did it, where I give you some of the tools I've used, and simultaneously at the end, I will give you an exquisite way and offer of co-creating this most magical 2023 for yourself. because it's one thing to understand and listen. It's a whole other ballgame to embody and breathe and continue to live and activate and expand into who you are. Those are two completely different things. And so I'm focusing on the people who really are ready, who are willing, and who are excited about prioritizing their soul in this life. Not just when it feels good, but really prioritizing every single situation, every single decision, every piece of alignment. And what you will encounter, I promise you that, is fear. Fear of lack of resources. The fear will come up because that is why everyone, or most, say 99% of humanity, stays in the same cycles, because they interact with this fear of lack, survival mode, and now they stop to move, and now they continue to do what they ever did. Like, it makes sense, right? It's common sense, but it's one thing to understand again, and it's a whole other thing to open up this cycle and really align your life with that. See, and that is what excites me. I see the results with my clients and myself in the moments we are relentless in the alignment with soul, beyond the fear, beyond what seems to make sense, all of those things. In the small things, the big things will arrive as you choose it in the small things. I'm just going to give you an example. I didn't used to have a lot of money. So what would happen is, I have multiple good stories. Let's take this story. The first time my fiance took me out, or took me on a holiday, or we went on a holiday, we went to Italy. And I used to joke because I had 3 small children, and I would just create all the sandwiches at home and take that with me and do that, right? So that was how I would celebrate a holiday, because that was the resources I had. And I was happy with that. I was creative. So now I was in this plane only with him, and we were going to go on a holiday. He was used to an entire different level of holidays, right? And so we were sitting in this beautiful, beautiful place in Sicily, one of the most beautiful places. It was a big square, like Italian music, the whole vibe. And so the waiter came and said, "What do you want to drink?" And if you know me, you know I love champagne. On special occasions, I do love champagne. I love the bubbles, right? So I said, I would love to have a Prosecco in this case. Yes. And then I realized they were for 14 euros a glass. Do you know a mother who's making the sandwiches, crafting out every penny? That was a shocker. So we were sitting there, and I was just drinking and thinking, you know, and then he said, "Do you want something more?" And I said, "No." I said, "No, just water," or "Not, no." And he was like, ordering the waiter, and said, "Can we please have one more?" I was so fearful of that. That was the level I was at. I just want you to get that. Okay, that was my mindset. That was how open I was, because I was thinking about the 2,000 euros monthly that came in, and about the 3 children I had to provide, and a 14 euro, 28 euro cocktail or thing was not going to happen in that world. I preferred to buy something for my children rather than that. Okay, that was what opened my eyes. One of the things, which is weird because it seemed so small, because I was suddenly in this different life, as if I was leaping timelines, seeing other people were just living this life, realizing in that moment, I can just choose and leap timelines whenever and however I want. There's no limitation to that. Still people coming, some allowing some in. There's no limitation to that. That I don't know what's happening. Can you still hear me? There was something with the sound. That activated something in my brain, understanding that the reality we create is literally what we create and where we choose to live in. Okay, so I want you to take a moment right now So think, what is the reality you live? Are you the mother who's making all the sandwiches? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just talking about choice of reality, whatever that might be. And I like the freedom to do whatever I want. I like to give to people whatever I want. I love a reality of freedom where resources are available and where fulfillment is available and where I can take great care of my children and make their life magical. I love being able to do that. So think for a moment, what is your train? What is your reality you are now living in? Because the chances are next year, similar to this time, you're still in the same reality. I'm just saying, you're still doing the same thing with the same husband and the same work and the same. Unless you make a plan, a soul-aligned plan, and you commit to it and you stick to it. This is not about flow. It is, however, about rolling out templates. We will talk more about that. But first, just for your human to grasp, am I accepting this reality as what it is for me? Or am I allowing myself to expand beyond what I have been created and feel, I feel so proud of what I created before that. Right? So it's not about being critical. It's about allowing yourself to create a reality that you really want. I did not feel fulfilled. I was great at my work as a social worker, helping people with addictive problems, youngsters, like I was teenagers. I was really good at it. Of course, because I could talk to their soul. So that was pretty easy. So I could find, but it wasn't creating the impact and the excitement for me. So another key is, what is really exciting to me? Because in my job, I felt like my potential is so much bigger. I'm just not having a clue how to let it out. Until I was sitting down at that desk, writing down all these things I wanted, making them detailed in what it was I wanted. And this was not a wanting for status. This was not a wanting for superficial stuff. This was a clear desire from my heart, a clear, strong desire to put it out there, which was good for me, which was good for the people around me, which was good for my future clients, which was good for all. It was clearly win, win, win all over, because my soul, and I don't know about you, and my personality get very, very happy if everyone benefits. So if I make a plan, a soul plan for me, and I allow my desires, and just know a car was in my desires too, a 7-seater car, because I knew I wanted to have that for child. And so we had a car for 5, but not for 6. So I already wrote the thing down. It was not only things great for my mission, my channel, all of that came online. Of course it did, because I started to live that way. So that suddenly came online, because once you live that way and you give that way, and I started to give through creating online events for free, suddenly they started to give me more and more and more and more. So for a moment, where are you in your reality? And what is the reality you really, really desire? And the truth is, I was in our new home, right, redecorating. I was going through all the books. And one of the books was called Yes, You Can. I was already reading them. I was in my early 20s and I was traveling through Australia. And I was reading books like that, Think Big, all of those, what was available then. I would go to yard sales and I would grasp these books and I would read them, right? So I was always attracted. I would sit on the beach that was then writing things down, being able to go out for dinner whenever I want, driving a motorcycle. I have that. Jumping out of a plane. Like I had different desires when I was in my early 20s, but I already allowed myself that. Now, within my programs, I teach how to create your own fulfillment blueprint. That is more like detailed. I'm not going to go into all of that. I will share more about that, but I'm not going to go in. For now, I want you to see what is the reality you are projecting into this cycle so that it can come in. Are you projecting anything? Or is it like, just a little bit of that, little bit of that? Are you really having a clear projection, like on those screens? It's crystal clear. These are the feelings, the frequencies. This is what I love. And then it will come, obviously, always different than you think, usually better, but you know the fulfillment you want in this arena of your life. You know how healthy you want to be. You know how to, you know all the things. And now you're projecting that. This is where frequency comes into place. But first you start writing why to focus your energy. Okay? To focus your energy and to make it all arenas. When I teach, some of the people have the tendency, especially if they are spiritual, for the greater good of all. That is not good enough. I'm just going to say that is not benefiting for you. Remember, it was a win-win-win. So when people do that, they are usually the kindest people on the planet. I was like that. I just felt it was not necessary to allow myself abundance. I felt it was not really that important. Love was more important. So I was saying all these things, which was clearly limiting my potential to allow in all the things. So look at yourself. Are you, if you're writing down the things that are actually fantastic for you? Why? Because you came to create and express. This is one of the common mistakes very spiritual people make. They are the kindest people and they forget themselves. The truth is, you have so much energy and your channel is so powerful. If you allow this to be embodied through the experiences you have, through the home, through the clients, through the impact, through the physical body, through you, that is what expands the world. Do you get it? That is expanding your field more than just being spiritual. That is not doing anything. So I want you really to get that this is all about you and that soul and divinity and all the things will come into place, but you need to choose and direct the energy. They're waiting behind you, honestly, around you everywhere. They're like, when are we going to do it? Oh, she's going to do the human thing. What they mean by that is she's going to do it herself. She's so used to do all the work, she really does not need it. Oh, he's going to do the very spiritual thing. He doesn't understand how to ground energy and that is what he came to do. Oh, please just tell us what you really want. Don't make it too fancy. Don't make it too complicated. Don't feel ashamed. Don't feel guilty. Put it on the paper. Honestly, this is how they see it. We have the capacity to bring things into motion and to create physical realities. But if you're not allowing, and that was something I was not, I was always taking care of others, thinking about others. My main reason why, and that's also good to know, why do you want this, was to be a great example to my daughters. So they could see how you can live in your power. So that was actually still about others. And then it turned out to be really good for me. So it was a win-win-win, right? It was still a win-win-win. But my initial thing was always about others. And there's nothing wrong with it, but you need to take you in the game because otherwise nothing will happen. What is landing so far? I'm seeing Suzanne, Miriam, really looking, listening. Suzanne has her cat with her, I think. Let's see what is landing for you in this. Because honestly, I could give you the templates and the transmissions and I could give you all the things, but that doesn't necessarily get you there. The understanding of the context does. And then we will fill in all the things when you co-create with me or when you co-create with someone, doesn't matter. But it's holding it first, understanding how it works, and thinking, if you want this, is this what you really want? Some people do not feel like that 1%. They want to be spiritual in this lifetime. They don't choose to be embodied spiritual. And that's really okay. Just feel into yourself. Maybe you're not here. You don't feel called into that. I think and go big this year, 100%. 100%. Let's talk about cycles, because I'm going to look at this. I don't want you to think in a year. I want you to think in 5 years. Okay. Again, expand 5 years from now. Yeah, because that's literally opening your field to something really big and extraordinary. Otherwise, the guides again are like, okay, she's just wanting this easy peasy thing. Why is she not ordering more? But it's honestly what it is, right? I used to call it order. I'm going to order this. Thank you, Vivian. Congratulations. Let's see. I feel successful. Look at me. Successful. I feel very success. Yes. Successful. And so is my husband. So we can afford a lot. But even though I make a lot, in reality, I'm not as successful as I feel. Yes. And so that is the frequency, right? You're talking about. You're carrying this big template. We're going to talk more about that, because you first need the physical projection, and then we're going to do energetics. Okay. So we're going to talk about that too, because that's the sensation, allowing in what we really want. I'm definitely here to celebrate life. Yeah. Writing down all the things you want to change this year, all your desires. Yeah. All the greatness you want to bring into your life, the magic, that what is possible, your wildest dreams for yourself, for your family, for your business, for your mission, bringing it in, all of the magic. These patterns are so strong. I'm laughing at myself. All this energy, Heather, what I desire, embodied, used energy. Now the portal is open in me. Patterns are strong. But if you have a stronger field set up, I promise you, I had a fear of public speaking. Look at me now. A lot of people on. I feel very comfortable with you. I'm actually still in my pajamas. I just put some earrings in. See? I would be the same with my kitchen table. You know, it's like, so we can change the patterns we are operating in. When it came down to public speaking, I was in a complete frozen fear, panic attack kind of energy, like extreme. I was very fearful. But if we reach the template and we say, you know, this is who I am, I see myself doing this. I want to free myself. I want to feel free and I liberate, and I want to like bring things to humanity, and I want to feel excited about my life, and I want to feel like every moment, and this is really what I feel, every class I give, I feel huge excitement. Honestly, I do. I always feel so exciting. Like if you know me, Frederick is like, yes, it is true. It's like, it's my art. It's what I love most. Why not have a life in every aspect where you experience that, where you love your husband, where you have the greatest family, where you make the most beautiful trips, where you support in the community or wherever you want in the most joyful way. This is how we bring in this template of our soul. It's a real thing. And yes, we will encounter patterns. We will encounter upgrades. We will encounter all of those things, resistance, fears, emotion, like all of it. It's just part of our human self. So we cannot escape that. Today I was interviewed and we talked about freedom. And then I said, the thing changed, and I'm going to say it here as well, because it might be helpful. And she said, when you accepted things, and when we turned off the camera, and I said, do you know, I actually want to share something more. This is what you should teach to the people. And she's like, okay, what is that? I said, for me, it was really hard to understand, accept this life on this planet. Maybe any of you feel that as well, that you, like, I had a hard time, like really wanting to be here because I thought it was so tough. Like that was me. until I was willing to look both things in the eyes, the light and the darkness. That what was exciting and flowy, and that what felt dense and hard, holding it both. I'm just giving you the template. If you do that in your life, instead of fighting it, instead of pushing, instead of whatever you do, if you hold it, you move through it gracefully. That is it. Let's see what else. Being clear of what I want. I still do a little of this and that because I love wealth and standing in my power more. Money is still blocking me. I will change in 5 years. Yes, because why do I say 5 years? Because it gives you, oh, I can breathe, no tension. Oh, it's already January the 13th and now, no. You don't need to go into that energy. That energy will literally not get you there. And your soul will be smiling and saying, you know, you're infinite. So do not worry about this 1 year. Do not worry about this 1 week or month. Like, let's put it in a bigger perspective. Let's live the life of your soul as this divine human, very different from your human. And we all know how it is to live your human. Look around you. It's everywhere. Yeah. It is available if you want that. Open up to abundance, manifest my desire. You need to be in the game, 100%. This year, I'm popping the cork. I will bath in the bubbles. Yes, definitely want to feel excited. I feel very happy and alive when I'm doing my work. Yes, absolutely. I've been the same, had a hard time being here. Yes, I still have to choose me and myself. I realize I gave up on myself because my business is not working yet. Doesn't matter. It will work in 5 years from now. I didn't have a business 5 years ago. It will work. When you bring in, and now let's talk the next thing. We talked about the reality you accept, okay? Cling. I was drinking the Prosecco. I'm giving you these examples so you're like, I remember this. Am I now like Sigrid creating the sandwiches at home? Am I living that lifestyle, or am I allowing the Prosecco to be served to me? Like, just as an expansion tool, right? Just as like, I'd like to have fun with myself as I'm seeing myself functioning in reality, okay? And I want you to have fun too, because that lowers the resistance instantly, makes life way easier. Then you open up, and I want you to start writing like I was writing on the desk, the 5-year experience. On Sunday, I will be going to Dubai, and I'm actually going to use the whole week together with my team to write my 5-year cycle, to write it all down, to become really clear. I'm taking a whole week in a high frequency place where I'm undistracted, no builders in my home, no children around me, none of that. Full focus on my frequency and template, yeah? And I used to do this in the middle of chaos, so that's also possible, I'm just saying. But now I'm just choosing to celebrate this new cycle, to celebrate myself. And that energy of celebration and excitement is what will bring things into motion. So allow yourself this gift of really setting a strong foundation for this 5-year cycle. Open yourself up to the bigger picture. And then allow yourself the template. Right now, a diamond template is coming in, which is really strong and powerful. If you are in my circle of light, you've been experiencing it, listen to it, because it's the foundation of your frequency. Makes sense? It's not just directing your energy. I want this, very human, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying allow all of the desires without shame and guilt to be presented on the table in front of you. And then allow yourself to stand into a divine frequency of bliss. This is what I call divine wealth. And then live and breathe from that template and align. Does that mean the human is not putting anything into motion? Of course she is. Do you know how many times in a day I just do very physical human things? Just today, I said, I'm going to take a bath and then I'm going to drop this idea. I wanted to have an idea and didn't have it. And I was pouring the bath and was calling my sister and said, it already popped. I was like, I'm so conditioned that if I decide it will pop, they give it to me because they know I'm also a mother of four. Okay. So just understand, important next thing, that you can combine your human and divinity. And most of you get to trust and ignite and play and engage with divinity in greater ways. That is one of my very clear intentions, to take my soul alignment, which is pretty on track, I would say, to a whole new dimension. That is what I'm going to do. Like, I'm really in for it. And that is exciting and scary, because I know, like, my love said to my little one, like, he said, can you come with me out of bed and do this? And he was lying in our bed. And I said, oh, I'm so comfortable. And then he said, count to 4. And I'm like, is it still working? When I was on gymnastic as a child, I would count to 4 and then I would do it. Okay. That was my way to overcome any fear. So I shared that. And now in the bedroom, if he wants me out of the bed, it's like 1. I said, no, you can't do this. 2, 3, 4. And what I mean by that is you can put yourself in soul alignment. It's not a feeling. It's a decision. Can you feel this importance? Because if you wait for soul alignment and good flows and magic and crystals and all of that, I'm not saying you are not connected. You are clearly connected to that all the time, but that is your baseline. The baseline is that you have your field so stretched out, that diamond field, that infinity divine wealth field, that when you are in life, you just align with that what feels scary, with that what feels bold, with that what creates the next level. Yes, yesterday's activation in the circle of light was amazing. I feel so different today. It is really powerful. So I'm not saying, like, I love my activations and the transitions, but today we're not just talking that. It's part of the puzzle, but I mainly want you to understand the concept of how you do create everything. Yeah, how it's really possible. Thinking about the stories, projecting your reality. What am I seeing now? Do I see myself in 5 years from now? Just seeing it. And then as you see it, it will come to life. And then if you are at the stage where you maybe feel already very fulfilled, that might be it. Like, I feel very blessed. I really do. But I'm here to expand and to call in higher frequencies. For those of you who are already feeling very fulfilled, it's time to open up the next level. Now, this is for you, for the pure bliss and joy of your soul and your personality, but this is also for humanity. But you can't get there if you're not first doing the work for you. Yeah, first you do the work for the human. And then we're going to expand and expand and expand. And this level of co-creation is so exciting, because when people are functioning and operating on this system, and I work with them and I co-create with them, for example, in one-on-ones, like, honestly, next level magic will happen. I will do another class where I invite some of my one-on-one clients, and you can see the work we do there, which is also pretty exciting. Different ballgame, right? Something different. But there's something in first setting the frequency foundation for your personality and allowing it to come in and really, really mastering soul alignment and soul embodiment. That is what it is. I've not manifested anything out of force. Sometimes it doesn't make sense what I do. If I would go to a business course and I hear them talking, I'm like, oh, no, this is not for, like, it's just not. All the projects I've been creating are pure joy, bliss, excitement. This is what I want. If it's not that, I close the loop. I close it. And what you see, what I've seen happening in my life and in my business, in my community, is that I've closed a lot of loops because it went so fast. The acceleration, the next levels, it just kept on coming. And so I'm only open for living and operating and breathing and functioning on the highest level available. But I'm also available for the upgrades. If you have witnessed me 3 times my voice in 6 weeks, these are upgrades happening. This is not like, oh, coincidence, she again has a cold. No, It's not very easy if you do masterclasses and every time you do it, your voice is, but it's what it is. I'm in it for all the things. Not a lot of people are. Most people are in it when it's good for them, when it feels easy. They don't want to move that much. They for sure do not want to risk what they love and what they have. But that is really what it is. Being willing to risk it all because you trust your divinity more than what you have created. Yeah? This is really, 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 really important. I'm going to say it again because I want this to land. You created things you absolutely loved. Now, I was blessed with the experience of my divorce. I was not married, though. This is the first time marriage, but it felt like a divorce because we had 3 children, right? I was blessed with losing everything I loved, the idea of a family. All of the things I said when I was 4, I want to be a mama, I was losing it. It felt horrible. So it was a blessing because that made it really easy to align with soul for me. Because I was not really risking anything, because I just lost everything what was really meaningful to me. Not everything. I actually now have it way better with my ex, who is my best, I don't know, friend. He's so good. Like, we co-create in such beautiful ways. So it became better, but at that point, so it was easy. Now I've created a really full life. Everything is nice. And this year I'm going to challenge myself to go all in, to be willing to risk it all. Why? Because I am the example and I'm calling in different frequencies and different templates. So I need to be willing to do what it takes to turn this manifestation and frequency dial on this planet so that others who surround me or who come near me or which I'm co-creating with or my clients start to rub off on that and they put it into their lives. Yeah? Where are you? Are you ready and willing to go all in? I'm just curious. Where are you? Or are you kind of contemplating? Not really. I love that. If you trust and it goes wrong, how to keep the trust? That is actually a great question. Do you know what I did? Okay, this is really simple. I'm very simple, right? With the 1, 2, 3, 4, that's very simple, right? It's just a trick, which I just, like, if I make an agreement with myself, I listen to it. These are soul, like, personality agreements in my life. So one of them is, if I know it, I have to do it. That's the 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not allowed to postpone, to wait, because that is just messing up the timelines, right? It just is. I can, but it's just not very effective. So I make very clear agreements with myself. One of the agreements is, if I lack trust, I trust soul. I don't need to trust it. I don't need to trust myself, because if I had to do it with the trust I had in me, I would have never got what I have. Okay, I want you to get that. You do not necessarily need to trust it. What you do need to do is you need to trust soul in your vision and align with that. Makes sense? This, again, is an important piece of the puzzle. You don't need to trust yourself. Do you think I trust myself in everything I do and everything I created? Oh, no, not at all. But I trust my soul, and I trust the desire, and I trust the excitement, and I trust the vision. And so if I trust that, I'm now in between choices. I always choose what that is. I'm not looking at the menu for the cheapest, is what I say. I'm looking at the menu and eat what I really, really want. And I'm not looking if I have the money. Yeah? This is the level of alignment. This is in everything. Are you looking at the menu, which is the cheapest, the easiest? Or are you looking at the menu and you see that and it's like, that is what I want. I'm aligning with that. And I'm trusting that everything comes together. Is it that the manifestation always happens instantly? No, it took 5 years, actually 44 to be very precise. So no, But like people would ask, are you going to ask him? I said, no way. That was not how I wanted it. Like other people are great. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen in my life. I want to have that full experience of him asking me. And so I was in that, right? How do you know when it's your soul? And that is a great question. When you, and I will talk more about that now pretty soon. When you have a clear soul plan, yeah, I'm going to, like, I teach people this stuff. So I will go into how you can do that and all the things. But short answer is when you have a clear soul plan and you have a soul vision, which is based on freedom, fulfillment, and excitement, you will know when it's there. So when I had to speak, but I was so fearful, and this is an honest to God story. I was interviewing people for the first time in one of my online retreats. All of you probably know me through that. And then she asked me to be interviewed. I remember walking, and there were great speakers on it, and I was so honored. And I was like green as grass, and I couldn't breathe. It was an audio. I was so hyperventilating that I couldn't talk. And so we did the interview, and afterwards she messaged me and she said, oh, poor me. She said, do you know the recording was just not very like audible? I'm like, it was, I just told her, I know it was horrible. I was so scared. I couldn't talk. But my vision was, and this is what I mean with soul, to talk. I had to go through that experience of pure devastation and shame. And I still continued, right? Because that was my soul. If I would have listened to my personality, the personality would have said, no way, you're not going to do that. You can't do that. But my soul said, this is your vision, the projection in 5 years from now. You will talking in front of a great big audience like now. Hundreds, thousands even. So it's time that you go and do this. I know you're fearful and you go and do it anyway. That's the difference. Many people say fear is resistance and then they don't do it. If it's in alignment with your soul, you do it. Yeah? I'm not saying you push yourself, but you take a little step and a step and a step and a step. And you practice so that the fear starts to dissolve, and it will finally. Sigrid the Brave. Oh, it was horrible. If I think about that, I couldn't breathe and I had to give answers. Oh, oi, oi, oi. Ever had a panic attack and then tried to be in English? Oh my, yeah, it was like fun. Yes, that is it. Like, and that's a big one, like face my fears and do it anyway. But this is a true thing. Like it is that when I said, look the light in the eyes, I'm the, like when I got like invited, he proposed, he said, does my princess of light, that was me, want to, it was really cute. So I would feel I am a princess of light. Like I love the light. I did not love the density and the darkness that much at all, until I understood when I just look it into the eyes. I was so fearful for the other, like I was petrified for the other side, for the darkness, like in things, density, in people, like all the things. I would just go like move until it was like, I can look you in the eyes. And if you can do that with your fears, like look it into the eyes, not becoming it, not allowing it to rule you, just looking, seeing that it's there, acknowledge, I see you, and now I'm going to move. Anyway, what I want to do now, because one thing is I give you information, which is really, really good like now. And by now, I know people usually need more than that to take it into embodiment. Most people will enjoy information. It will give you this excitement. And I'm in it for the embodiment. So I'm going to share a little bit more. So if you want to go, that is fine. I love you. And otherwise, I will give you a short thing about something extraordinary I've been thinking about, which I think is really fun, because it will actually be access to one of my extraordinary programs for 4 weeks. So what I decided, what I know is helping me, is helping my clients the most when it comes down to this foundational frequency work is a course I created, which I do with my Divine Wealth people. And it's a course in which I guide you through the specifics and the tools I use. So I gave you now the concept, but I actually have energy transmissions, tools, practical practice, like all of the things to really take it deeply into your life. This is not something where you just, oh, I hear it, now I get it, right? It's like you do the work, you engage with it, you allow this to be your priority. This month, January, the energy of January is of going inward and creating your template for this 5-year plan. Okay, that is the energy currently. So it's an exquisite time. If you're like, nothing is really moving, I don't really feel like going between people or doing all the things, it's because you are called into anchoring in your 5-year cycle. That's why. So I will give you all of these steps, all of the different tools I used. It's about, I think, 10 hours long. It's a course, okay? That's the first step. That is basically the frequency foundation. Then on top of that, I thought what would be really exciting to me and for you is that I allow you into my Divine Wealth program, which is a running, like almost like a mastermind. It's a high-level program I run around Divine Wealth embodiment for 4 weeks, because I want you to feel the energy transmissions we create in that space. So it's a 4-week access to my life program and also in my app to all previous recordings, okay? So you can also go and like, the embodiment class of Thursday we just had was really, really good. We went really deep into this 5-year cycle, gave all the specifics. What I will give you in all of the lessons is very practical divine alignment tools combined with channel transmissions and literally a very high frequency space and community. So this is it. What is included in these live classes is you will get access to the embodiment classes, which are teachings, transmissions, tools, things you can really implement into your life to make spirituality something very practical, something you can embody so that you actually get results in your life. I'm all about results. The other thing is that we have a weekly live Q&A, which is an extraordinary place because you get to ask all of the questions. The energy is high. You can ask anything you want about any topic, can be very spiritual, very practical, about a child, doesn't matter. You can literally ask anything, any unclarity around what your faith, like whatever it is. I will either channel it with my eyes open or with my eyes closed, depending on what I'm called into. Then you will also have 4 weeks access to all of my soul alignment teachings and actually life. So every morning, 7:30 next week in Dubai, and there's specific energy there. So I'm excited to channel that through. I have a specific topic and I have 5 sessions in that week, say 10, 15 minutes each every day to put you into alignment. Why am I doing so much live? Because it creates energy, momentum in you, and that momentum shifts and changes everything for you, okay? Then also included is a practicum, which is where we come together. I set you up in groups of 2 online, like in a retreat space, and you actually dive deep into a topic together in an assignment. What it creates is a real experience with a physical human. And it usually is people come back and they're always so excited because it's so good to be able to talk with someone about topics like this. I tend to have high quality frequency, high quality spiritual conversations that take place there. All divine wealth embodiment, like that is what it's all about. Let's see if I forgot anything. No. So it's the frequency foundation course, and then it's 4 weeks access to this cycle. Well, normally this cycle on itself is 555 euros. And then we have the course, which is another couple of €100, right? Now, what I decided is you also will get a channeled message from me privately. This can be an activation. I do that, which I love. It's really nice to have this like personalized activation where I channel an activation for you on a specific topic. It can also be a question around your soul's purpose, whatever comes in mind, whatever it is for you, this is also part of it. So it will be the frequency foundation, Access Forever, so that you can really roll out this in a big way and you can start manifesting everything you desire. First, do this work. It's important work. If you don't do this work and you just jump and hope and wish for it, it's not going to happen. This is the work that I've proven that works and that my clients also prove it works. Then you come into one of my most extraordinary embodiment spaces with high-level women, like too exciting, where you get access to 4 weeks of live classes, plus you get a recording with me, and I think even a personal call. Okay, not with me, but with Johanna, who's also here. So that is all what it is. All of this is 444 euros. It's worth way more. But if you really want to set up this year and you will embody and use all of this, I promise you, you will be getting the results you're looking for. And so I'm very excited to welcome you in. If you want access, just email us. Tomorrow I will send out an email with the details so you can access it. You can also just access it now. And once you made the payment, you're also allowed to already ask the question. So I will record that or like ask for the activation and I will also record that. These are very personalized and highly activational messages. I'm so excited for you to create this beautiful year filled with magic. And Johanna, can you now allow everyone to be unmuted? If you have any questions, just send them to my team and then we will get you going. Yes. Bye, everyone. I love